Hey everyone, how are you? Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! I'm gonna wait for my Wi-Fi to get better. It has been acting up today and I want to call the police. Let's try it again. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 34, Ditched and Dismissed. If you're new to my channel, my name is Wah, and I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Love After Lockup, 90 Day Fiancé, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Seeking Sister Wife, and hopefully MILF Manor when that comes. You guys need to be watching MILF Manor. It's going to be on TLC. I'm super excited about it. Hello. So we've got 13 people in the room. A few of you are commenting. We love to see it. So those of you guys who are on hashtag replay gang, just go ahead and look in the description box to see when this actually starts, because I'm going to give folks a little bit of time to come into the room so that they have an opportunity to kiki with me as we go. As I stated, we are talking about Love After Lockup. However, if you are getting the hee ha-has and you want to give your girl a tip, you can do so down below. PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App. You could even do a thumbs up for the international girlies. There is like a thank you in the little thing below next to the thumbs up. You can also give a thumbs up as well. That's going to help my channel. So hi Connie, hi Jennifer, hi Mickey, hi Better Days, Living Queen, Dedria, Joseph, Estevali, Jasmine, Dark Horse, JW, Amira, no, Amaya. Did I say that? Amaya? Monica, Supernatural, and Yazelle. All the normal characters, and we love to see it. DG, hello. We love to see you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Yes, me again. Me again. What Mickey is referring to is that I went live earlier today to talk about Drag Race. I'm now doing Drag Race as well. So if you guys are interested in that content, Saturdays are my days to do all of the YouTubery. Okay. So that's when you'll see me. Okay, let me make sure that I put on the monetization on this. It's limited immediately. It doesn't even give me an opportunity to say anything. It's like Love After Lockup. We're giving you limited monetization, which is really very upsetting. It's very upsetting. All right, we won't worry about it. Let's move on. Lynn J, hello. Judith, hi. Great, Amaya. I'm so happy. Hi. Oh, you're new, at least to the chat. Hello. Fisk girl. How are ya? How are ya? Sadly, we had no Travis and Ashley this episode, which really, don't they just bring the crazy? Hello, Rashni. Hello. I'm gonna need YouTube to notify me that Wah is live. I think you have to hit the notifications, and then you have to have notifications on your phone. That's the one thing I learned. Not only do you have to get notified, you have to make it so that your phone gets notifications from YouTube. If you are an iPhone user, which you should be, you would just go into your settings and then go to for notifications and make YouTube give you the notifications. It's really annoying, but that's the only way it can happen. Stacy, hi. Shayna, hi. Gemini, hi. Or Jamia, sorry, said Gemini. So glad you guys caught me as well. Whew. I hope everybody's had a good Saturday. I've had a good one. I did a lot of like podcasting and YouTuberies and all that stuff. Speaking of such, I have to edit the Love After Lockup one for DocuSweeties, which is going to go live on Apple Podcast, Google, all the other things. So if you guys want to listen to me and Chris talk about this, you could head on over to your podcast. Like, you don't have to listen to it today. It's too much. But if you're like feeling bored on a Tuesday and you're like, I just need to hear Wahima's voice, then you could just go get the podcast and listen to those episodes. Thank you, Lynn J. She's doing the Lord's work. Thank you so much. Oh my God, 39 weeks pregnant. You're almost there, sis. You're almost there. Whew, you are almost there. Good for you. I'm so happy for you. Hey, hello, longtime viewer, first live. Woohoo, hello. Oh, thank you, Better Days. She loves docu-sweeties, or they love docu-sweeties. I don't know if it's a she or a he. All right. I have a lot to say about a lot of these couples. We're going to get started in about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I think I should put in the. Oh, I'll have to remember. Somebody remind me at the end of this to go into YouTube and actually like add the timestamp. Or if you want to, you can add the timestamp in the comment section, whatever you want to do. Okay, you guys ready? We have 30 seconds. I'm wearing some glitter eyeshadow that Chris got me for my birthday, and I didn't open until like last week. My birthday was October 22nd. It's been busy, okay? I moved. It's been a lot going on. I didn't have time to open up makeup. I hope, yeah, everyone's saying best of luck. I do hope you have a great delivery. I hope the baby's not overdue too long, and I hope you guys are both safe and healthy afterwards. Happy New Year! Hello, everyone. All right. So, my name is Wah, do relationship reality TV show, such as Love After Lockup, 90 Day Fiance, and all that good stuff. You guys are obviously hashtag replay game because you jumped forward to this point. And let's get started with our first couple. I want to talk about Justine and Michael because I really feel as though Justine got upset for no reason. Do women no longer know how to be in-laws anymore? Why on earth would you ever think it's appropriate to clap back at your husband's mother when it hasn't been 15 years of abuse? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just got married, okay? And Justine has been setting us up for some type of situation in which she's like, well, his mother's gonna have to step back, because I'm his wife. I'm his wife. And then, like, somebody in this episode, I think was Mocha, was like, the Bible says you have to put your wife first. And then so it's really just about that idea of putting your wife first. And Michael did absolutely defend his wife in the moment. So let me tell you what happened. Hi, Renee. Welcome. So what happened is that they're at the park, right? And Mocha shows up. And Justina has an attitude. She does not want Mocha to be there because she feels like it should only be there for family. And let me repeat, she just got here, okay? The rest of these folk and his family has known him for his entire life. And she's been here 3 years in a relationship with him. With 3 of those years, he was in prison. And all of a sudden, she thinks she can dictate things. Like his best friend can't come to a family event. This best friend is seeming like a family member. In fact, all of his family members are so excited to see him. And she's like, oh, well, thank you for coming to this family event, when you're here with all this family. And I said, Justine, you are the usurper. You are the new person. You're the new girl on the scene. Like, just respect the fact that this person and his entire family, it's like everyone there knows everyone intimately except for you. And you think that you should have some kind of say whether or not his bestie comes to his welcome home party. Michael has this really sweet moment with his dad that it just broke my heart. That, he's like, I wish I would have seen you more. And at first I thought that Michael was saying that, I'm sad that you weren't in my life for most of my life, because had you been there, then I wouldn't have been in the streets trying to make money that way. I really want to know about his familial circumstances. I know I shouldn't want to know, and it's none of my business, but whenever I think of like men who go to prison when they have like both their parents in the home and then they talk about being extra poor, I'm like, was y'all on drugs? Like, what's the backstory? Why did Michael feel the need the call of the streets? I'm not saying that in every single instance it's because it's a single mother home or, whatever is lacking, but usually I don't think people go into selling drugs because that's because they want to. Like, I feel like people go into drugs out of desperation, go into selling drugs out of desperation to make money for their family because there's no other options. So anyways, but it turns out that he was basically saying that his father didn't come and visit him. And he's like, it was too much for me to see you in prison, man. Like, it took me 6 months to recover once I saw you that one time. So I just couldn't go anymore. And I thought that was such a lame, stupid answer. Like, being a parent is hard. And I know seeing your kid in prison is really difficult. But if being there for them while they're in prison is what's going to help get them through, then you need to put aside your petty feelings and just fucking go be there for your son. I was like, yeah, that answer is not, they're Dominican. Hi, Renee. I wonder their ethnicity. They're Dominican. So I'm just like, suck it up, Buttercup. Go see your son. Go suck it up. Suck it up. So then he has to like there's a conversation between Justine and the mom where the mom, Michael's mom, comes over and basically says, "Hey, the way you raise your daughter is whatever, but the way that I have been raising my grandchild thus far is X, Y, and Z. And I would appreciate it if you could stay in line with the ideals and the things that I find to be valuable." And Justine immediately feels like that's an attack on her parenting. And it's because Justine has allowed her 16-year-old daughter to get tattoos and to have piercings. And she feels super judged, which I'm like, if you are going to be the type of parent who, and I say type, but I don't mean it like that. If you are going to, as a parent, allow your child to do things to themselves that other people are going to judge, you have to be prepared for the criticism. And it's almost as though Justine is not prepared for said criticism, especially when it comes from an elder, especially when it comes from a family member of your husband's side. Like, I'm not saying that Justine was wrong for feeling the way that she felt. I'm not saying that the grandma wasn't out of pocket, because I do think that it was wild for her to come over and say that. First of all, Melody has a mother, and that's not you. So unless you're going to tell me that the woman that Michael had the majority of his kids with, the woman he was with for 12 and a half years before he went to prison, is no longer in Melody's life, and you're just taking care of them, and you've decided that they're going to go to church every Sunday and be in choir practice, and so you want to keep things holy, and you feel like Justine is just a tad bit wild. But if you thought Justine was wild, then why did you introduce her to your son and allow Justine to go to the visitations with you? So listen, I just feel like, yes, parents-in-laws are going to say wild things, but initially you don't need to fight them. What she should have done is just pulled Michael aside and said, "I'm very upset because your mother just said something to me. Please don't say anything right now, but I do want to talk about it. And I think you should have a conversation with her about keeping boundaries." That is the way that should be managed. There is no other way that is acceptable, unless Justine has been dealing with years of abuse from that mother. And finally, this was the time she couldn't take it. But that doesn't seem the way it doesn't feel like that's the way it is. And also, their relationship was them being friends. And the beginning of that conversation seemed like it was going to be happy, because she's like, "Well, you might be pregnant." And she's like, "Yeah, God willing." Blah, 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 blah. So then Justine gets upset. She storms off and she goes and tells her daughter, like, "Girl, of course your daughter is going to be on your side. She wanted them tattoos and them piercings." And then Justine's like, "My daughter's the, captain of the cheerleading squad and she's on the honor roll." And I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? But also the same thing about getting the tattoos. Like, it's not like she's gonna go off and be a drug addict because she's got a tattoo. Like, it doesn't matter. But I mean, it was like a lot. And so then the sister comes over and is like, "Please don't pop your neck at my mom. Please respect the fact that she has raised my niece in a certain way." And the whole time the niece is right there with the sister. And I'm just like, so now you've discredited Justine in front of the girl that she at some point is going to give direction to. It's not like Melody's going to be up in her home and Justine is not going to give her direction. Like, if anybody's in your home, you can't just like not talk to them. Mike is going to want to have his kids around him 24/7. They did mention that they live in Rhode Island. So I'm not sure. I think they're in Pennsylvania. So I don't know who's in Rhode Island and who's in Pennsylvania, but I don't know. So it just seems like a silly argument to have in front of the child. The child is never going to respect Justine now. And it might cause drama between Kylie and Melody, which are the two teenagers, one being a cheerleader with a tramp stamp and the other one being a non-cheerleader with no tattoos. No, I'm like, what's Melody's schooling like? I don't know. These are all like, I don't know what kind of tattoo the girl has. I don't know what kind of belly piercings. But anyways, this sparks this whole fight. Mike comes, he defends Justine and says, "This is my wife. I don't want any drama. I just got out of prison." But then on the way home, or when they get home, she says, "Okay, everybody go shower and, go to bed." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, everybody, you heard what your mother said. Just go shower and go to bed." as he should, support her. Then he tries to sit down and have a conversation with her, but Justine is not emotionally intelligent enough to sit down and have a conversation with him. And she's like, so I'm just supposed to take it? He's like, I just know. He's like, no, I'm going to defend you, but I just want you to attempt to not have arguments in front of me in public. If you have a problem, we could talk about it. She gets upset. I don't like that. I don't like people who like don't behave as though I don't like people who are not emotionally intelligent. And I know that it's not all of us. It's not like all her fault. Like not everybody has access to therapy, and like it's really not everybody has it. I just hate seeing it, especially when one does and the other one doesn't. Ugh, it's annoying. I agree. And she just didn't handle it well. So it just like made me not interested in her. All right. So that's the end of them. Let's move on to, let's move on to the couple that we had the least with. And that is going to be Aries and Cameron. Cameron is, he's a lot. He's like a little troll. He's got a lot of large features. His hair, them lips, and also his personality is so big. And I'm happy for him. He's a good type of character to have on this show, right? Like he gives us all the things we need. He says the wildest stuff. And Aries is like, Cameron, no. And he's like, well, I don't mean that 100%, but you know what I mean? I want strippers and shit. Like he is just so wild that it's like kind of endearing, but at the same time, I'm like, can we put him back? Can we put him back in the bottle? He's a little too much. This man is like, he loves sex. He loves talking about sex. He loves his sexy girlfriend. He's in love with the whole situation. And I like that she likes him. She's beautiful and she's with this little troll doll. It's hilarious to me. I think that he's going to add a lot of color. I think that there needs to be some drama, but otherwise he's a character on his own, like really, truly. And he's like the smallest man. So what did I put? Here, let me say my notes. They have 24 hours to get to the halfway house. So they drive from wherever they are and 24 hours to get to Kentucky. He's planning his next music video because he's got so much fodder to talk about after being in jail. And he's talking about he wants booty shaking and body licking. And it's just like, sir, what are you talking about? And he's just like, yeah, no, it's got to be that. She's like, well, there are limits. And he's like, of course there's limits. So then they pull over and he talks about how it's muffin time, and this man just wants to put his face all up in her folds, no matter what folds they are. They start to make out. She loses her nose ring, and then we cut to them in the hotel room, and they love to just throw in shots of all manner of like baby oil or not baby oil, cocoa butter oil, which Vaseline makes, and I didn't know they made it. And then Hot Six oil, which I'm not sure what that is. And then they show her eyelashes. I'm like, why was all this necessary? Why was all this necessary? So the next morning they leave the hotel and they had the most amazing sex ever. And she takes him to the halfway house. He gets out and he has this sad little bag that has all of his earthly and worldly possessions in it. And she screams, I love you. And he goes into the halfway house. I don't know how long he has to be there, but she's willing to wait. And they had a magical time together this round. So, happy for them. Okay. Next couple that we are going to talk about. Let's talk about Nathan and Skylar, because this was weird. This was a really, really weird segment, I feel like. And Skylar, what in fact does she look like? Because I don't know. She looks so weird to me. So the band pulls up, Skylar gets out, her mother runs and hugs her, her brother hugs her, everybody's so happy to see her. They say she looks great and happy and healthy. And then she hugs Nathan and she says that she's, feeling really humbled at this moment. And Nathan says that she smells like gel, which is hilarious because like, what does that smell like? And we get a little backstory about her. We get a little backstory that she was very sheltered. She didn't want for anything. She was given everything. But for whatever reason, she started smoking weed when she was 14 years old. And You know, she says that she went to church every Sunday. So something happened, right? Like you don't have, and not all the time does something happen, but I'm just going to go ahead and say something happened to her because the call of the drugs and the hiding, and you know, she says that she started smoking weed at 14, but by the time she was 19, she was like doing fentanyl and she should be dead. Like, what happened to you, boo? You don't just jump to fentanyl as a church going good girl. Something happened. And it's unfortunate. So I hope she's getting help with whatever caused her to want to like not be around and be like MC Hammered the whole time. So she says that she's bougie, and then her mother like brings her clothes from TJ Maxx, and it's like, I wish that people would stop using words when they don't understand the meaning of them. Like I'm like it. Listen, people, bougie is a term that has been used by Black people since the 90s. And I'm going to tell you right now, the advent of social media has unlocked everybody using all kinds of words that they don't truly understand the word for. Bougie is not TJ Maxx. It can be if everybody is shopping at Rainbow and you're just like, I go to TJ Maxx. I'm just going to do. Yes. But like, if you're talking about coming from like a perfect American family, like very middle class, and you shop no, that's not bougie. Bougie is knowing you should be shopping at Walmart, but choosing to shop at Target. It's like, you're not bougie, girl. You're just like regular. I don't know, regular. I never think to shop in TJ Maxx, honestly. Like TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, stores like that give me so much anxiety because things are not. I walk in and I feel like I'm in a thrift store. And listen, a thrift store makes sense to me because it's a thrift store. I know what I'm walking into. You walk into a thrift store, there's a certain smell in every single thrift store. Like it makes sense that things are hodgepodgey, but it doesn't make sense that things are hodgepodgey in TJ Maxx. Like, no. I don't want to just rifle through racks of medium, racks of women's pants, you know, size small from white, black, red. I don't want to do that at a store. So like, I'm like, if I'm going to shop in a place like that, I might as well just go to the thrift store. You know what I love to do at the thrift store is like, have you ever done this? This is what I did last time I did this, but I think it's a great idea and I'm going to do it again. If you ever throw a dinner party, right, and you don't have like fancy or like good crystal or china or whatever, go to the thrift store and just find the best looking set of china, where you can find some china from Mima's cabinet that didn't nobody want in a thrift store. Get you 6 plates. Hopefully you can find a set. Sometimes you can't. But even if it's old fashioned, I love it. I threw an 80s themed party and I went to the thrift store and bought a bunch of like plates and stuff. And I literally was like, oh, this was only like $10 for everything. And I just threw it away afterwards. It was like, served its purpose. Don't need to wash it. Let it go. So like, I love the thrift store for that. Like, if you're just like, oh, I want to get some vases for my home, just go to the thrift store and see what they got. You never know. You might find 1 or 2 items and it'll be super cheap compared to what you would get somewhere else. Wow, girl, these people better keep eating off this Chinette. Anyways, trying to send the PayPal, but it won't process. Oh, I don't know why. It's wahimalino@gmail.com, but I thank you anyway. I thank you. Okay, so yeah, like I just was like, I can't do it. Anyways, so she's like, oh, this is cute, and she's saying cute to things that I'm like, girl, it's a flannel. What do you mean it's cute? It's a flannel. Like, okay. So her and what's his face take off, and he's really nervous about his other side of the trackness. Like, he's very much like, oh my God, she's gonna know that I'm poor or that I'm WT and judge me. And it's like, no, she been know that. And she's here. So what are you worried about? Then he says that he's worried that she's there for not the right reasons. And I'm like, so wait, is she using you for your money or not? Like, what is going on? What are you worried about? So he tries to like, you know how when you're nervous about something and you want to say it before the person says it or you want to acknowledge it? He's like, yeah, the car makes a lot of noise. Ha ha ha. And she's like, well, it runs fine. And he's like, oh, okay. Like he just thinks that she's going to judge everything in his life compared to, I guess, the mother and whatnot. So then they go to a coffee stop so she can change, and she goes in, tries to order coffee. He doesn't know what to get. And it's like, oh, this is the hang up. Like, you've never been to a Starbucks. That's always the weird thing to me when people like go into Starbucks and are like, I'm not fancy. I don't know about coffee. And I'm like, in the year of our Lord 2023, Starbucks is no longer fancy. Starbucks isn't fancy anymore. Okay. When I worked for Starbucks in 2002 and 3, Starbucks was a little fancy. It was bougie. It was bougie. But by the time 2006 hit, it's literally on every single corner in New York City. Shit's not bougie anymore. It's just like Dunkin' Donuts. It's not bougie. Everybody just goes there. So it's like, it's weird when people get like, oh, I don't know how to order coffee. I'm like, just get a latte and get a flavor in it, or just ask them like, hey, what do you represent? What do you think? Like, weird. What do you represent? Like, what do you get? The girl's like, oh, what is prison coffee like? And she's like, it's like instant coffee, and they have a good key about it. Then she goes into the bathroom and changes her clothes, and she comes out, and Nathan is just like a ball of nerves. He spills coffee on himself, and he freaks out, and he goes outside and changes his clothes, and she's like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. And she's like, well, you seem upset, you seem weird, like I just want to make sure everything's okay. And he's like, yeah, no, yeah, I'm fine. He is not fine. They get to his home, his grandma's house. Now I wonder where grandma is. Is grandma in hospice or something? Is grandma alive? Like, where is grandma? Why is this house now open for him to use? So he goes in. He hasn't cleaned up the house the way he should. She feels like it's a little weird, especially the old timey pictures on the wall, which I'm like, that's definitely his great great folks. So don't be talking about them. And she's like, yeah, we got to clean it up. Can I just throw stuff away? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, then don't have me stay here then. Like, then you need to go through and make sure what's good and what's not good. And you need to call Auntie Tina to come over here and make those decisions too, because don't nobody know what needs to be kept and what doesn't need to be kept. And I like the house though. I think it's cute. Oh, Giselle. Ooh. Hot take. Anyways, I like the bones of the house. I think that it could be a good house. They just need to like put some money into it and, figure out what they're going to do with Mima's items. Then he tries to break the ice because of the awkwardness, and he goes and puts on like a grandpa outfit and with mask, and then comes out, and then they run upstairs to have sex, and hee hee ha ha. So there's that. Good for them, right? Good for them. Okay, next couple that we are going to swiftly move along to is Chris and Gabby. I just need to get over this. Basically, Gabby's acting like a spoiled brat because she found out that he's been talking to other women since he's gotten out of prison, because she checks the phone logs because she has access to his phones because it's on her plan. And she actually like goes and looks at the bill. I haven't seen a phone bill since 2004. Okay. I have not seen, it just auto takes out of my account. It's $83. I don't ever look to see. I mean, obviously I'm by myself, right? But even if I got a boyfriend and for some reason I was paying for his phone bill, it would never even dawn on me to go pull up the files like an old fashioned phone thing and look through it to see who he's been talking to. And my only thought is that maybe she like called the numbers back, and when women answered, she just like hung up real quick. I don't know what how she knows. So he's like, yeah, I've been talking to women, but they're my friends. They're not sexual. And I'm like, that is not a lie. You're not one of these guys who has girlfriends. Like, there are a certain faction of men in this world who truly believe that men and women cannot be friends. And that if he is posing as her quote unquote friend, he's actually trying to sleep with her the entire time. And the posing as a friend thing is just a way to get in the panties. And when I found that out, I was shook and shocketh. But now it makes so much sense. And Chris is not the type of dude to have female friends that are simply platonic. I think that's a lie. So he then tells his mother to bring him another phone, and she comes with another phone. How people get phones willy-nilly, I will never understand. But he gets a new phone, and he's like, the reason why I asked you to do this is because Gabby is like checking on my phone bill and going through it, and like I don't want that. I need some privacy. Mother is like, yeah, Gabby just needs to let him live his life. He doesn't need to be married if she doesn't trust him. The mother just doesn't want him to be married. She wants him to be free and do whatever he wants to do. She's going to be there to support her sons regardless. So he gets out of the halfway house, and his mother and his brother are there to meet him. His sister didn't come for whatever reason. Maybe she was working. And we see the brother for the first time, Steven, and the mother, and they're so happy. So they're walking around the city and, deciding on what he's going to do. They wonder where Gabby is because Gabby's supposedly so in love with Chris, and that's her husband. So why wouldn't she be there? So Chris explains that he's just going to meet her at the train station in New Jersey, that she couldn't come. So they go to a bodega and they get some drinks. And then somebody named Brittany calls. And Brittany's like, oh, what are you about to do? And he's like, I'm about to go to New Jersey. And she's like, what's up with New Jersey? He's like, my wife. And she's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Whatever. Bye. She does not give permission for her voice to be heard because it's like a voice modifier over it. And I was like, wow, she wants nothing to do with it. Is she scared of Gabby? I mean, I wouldn't be scared of Gabby. She's like the smallest person on the planet. But she might be. I don't know about Gabby's street cred. So they're walking down the street, and the mother's like, Gabby's not it for you. She's two-faced. And he's like, nah, I like her. It's my wife. She's a little feisty. I'm into that. And they get on the train, and they're having a whole conversation. It looks like he's going to Penn Station. They talk about the Lower East Side. So it looks like that's where he's from. So they're on like either the one or the two, girl. I don't quite remember. I haven't lived in New York City in 8 years, but like, then he has to take a train over to the path so he can take the path in New Jersey. Girl, he gets on that path. Even though his family's like, you don't have to go. You can just come with us. And he's like, nah. He gets on the path. He gets off. Gabby's supposed to meet him at the bus at the station, and she does not show up. Then she calls him and is like, yeah, I'm not coming. So you're going to have to figure it out. And her whole thing is like, I'm not going because if he wants to cheat and do whatever he wants to do, then he can find his own way home. And that is just so petty and stupid and young. Like, who cares? Who absolutely cares? What can Wah fill us up on? Maybe Wah can enlighten us on what? Chris is a full shady McGrady. What am I enlightening y'all on? I don't know. I don't have the tea. I keep my head in the sand. It's so ironic that Chris says he likes feisty, given we know their unfortunate outcome. Yeah. Estevali says, I'd like to go to a good place when I'm gone, but gosh, Chris is an interesting looking guy. Oh no, he looks terrible. Okay. He's a poor, unfortunate soul. That face. Indeed. Oh, Gabby's secret. Oh, I don't know what Gabby's secret is. I can't even imagine. Remember, that's where we left off last episode with you guys. And I was like, what do we think the secret is? That she has a large amount of debt. Somebody was saying that she's already married. Somebody was saying that she's being sued. Like, I have no idea. I just can't imagine why she would need to lawyer up and what that secret is. I think it's so interesting that people have shit in their closet and then they just go after other people. Like, she's hiding stuff and keeping secrets, and she's mad that he's talking to other women. Like, girl, I do not know. Anywho, let's move on to the last crazies that we have to talk about this. I have so much to say because this is the wildest situation. And let me tell you right now, after watching this, I really, really want some good seafood. Ooh, I want some good ass seafood, like crab legs. My mouth is watering. So I should look that up and go tonight. Just Uber me to a place. Can I walk? I always try to walk places and Uber. Or I always try to walk, then drive. Because then you gotta drive. You gotta find a place to park, girl. And you gotta remember where you parked. And you gotta not be too tipsy. It's too much. Anywho, so let's move on to these fools. So morning. It's the morning after, and they've had sex. Monique is in a black silk robe, and they ask her about the sex, and she says that it was a 7 or an 8 out of 10 because he's young. This person is 29 years old, and she's 34. I mean, they're not that much difference in age, but we do remember that her friends are making fun of her because they say that she usually dates way older. So She says it's because of his age. He's not so much into foreplay. And I said, he doesn't also look like the type of man that's into foreplay. He also looks like the type of man who doesn't have any female friends. I really do feel like men who do not have female friends are people who don't see women as humans. Like, it's wild to me that you are like, no, men and women can't be friends because all men are going to want to do is sleep with them. So that means is that you don't see women in any other light besides what they could do for your body and how they can please you. Because if you can't be friends with a woman, what's wrong with you? Like, and also, if you can't be friends with a woman, you surely aren't interested in pleasing her. That's just what I think. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's the same guy, and I feel like Derek is the exact same way. Also, Derek thinks himself as a dominant man. He wants to make all the decisions, but I'm like, honey, your decision making skills are not that great. You just spent a lot of time in prison for selling drugs. So like, why would I give all my power to you? You know what I'm saying? And Mike would be the same way because he said Justine was the first woman to ever make him think like, oh, females are cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, men who think that way are not interested in pleasing women. Like, to me, I don't know. It's like they're more interested in their bros, which is fine, I guess. But it's interesting that it's always like a very specific type of guy. And that guy is not going to be worried about making you happy or your pleasure. And it's just weird to me. They're just not giving. And that's weird. So she rates him a 7 out of 10, as I said. And then I'm just like, foreplay, girl. Like, he's like, am I the best you ever had? And she's like, it was good. And you know how Monique, she will give no reaction. She's very like bland. I think it's because she doesn't want anyone to think that she likes them more than they like her. I don't know. So a private number keeps calling him and she gets upset and makes him answer it. And then he does, and there's nothing there. And I'm like, how has he already given out his number to somebody? Also, like, I don't answer private numbers. So why would you? I mean, this man, he's drinking a Red Bull. He's got like Gatorade by the like he came out of prison and was like, oh, I haven't had juice in so long. I want all of the different types. I guess they only get water in prison. At least that's what Chris said. They only get water in prison. So to come out and have a sugary beverage, he's into it. Into it. So they then get dressed and he puts on a Gucci shirt and a Cartier watch that was his before he went in. His brother held on to it for him. And, you know, he just got his hair done. So his hair is looking good. And also he says that he didn't shower. He's like, I'm taking my first shower since out of prison. So what? They just didn't shower last night? They just had sex and no showering? Anyways, he wants her to get into the shower with him, and she goes on ahead and gets into the shower with him. And she puts on like a full white bodycon dress. And I was like, why? Why? The stress of wearing a full white outfit and then going to eat food? No, I'm only wearing all white if that is that's a cover up for a beach scenario. It's not me. Like, makeup as a Black woman, makeup on my white, like, no. So I wonder how she did it. Did she put the dress on first and then put her makeup on? Oh God, just stressing me out. And then she's wearing some silver Birkenstocks, which later on she claims she can't walk around in. I'm like, girl, what you needed to do is put some deodorant on them thighs and get to walking. Like, I know it hurts. I know it's chafing. Like, God, when I walk, oh my God, when I'm wearing a dress, I have to wear biker shorts or something because these thighs be rubbing together. So, Lord, I get it. So anyways, they sit down to eat. He orders everything on the menu and she doesn't stop him, and she allows him to rack up a $500 bill. Okay, so here's my question, you guys. What does she do for work? 1. 2, is she up to her eyeballs in debt? I think it's the latter. I think that Miss Monique is up to her eyeballs in debt. There is no way that she would be able to sustain a life and this man at the rate that she's going when she's spending $500 on dinner and $1,100 on jeans and all of this shit. Like, you are in debt, and And it's like, ugh, very scary. And then this man wants to go to casino. With what money? With whose money? What does he think she does? What does she do? And then they're filming and some guy's like, hey, what up? And he was like, what's up? She gets mad at that. So not only is Monique jealous of other women, she's jealous of other men too. She doesn't want anyone taking time away from her and Derek. It's like she just wants to like fold him up and put him in her purse and walk around with him as an accessory. And I feel like she's using her money to, control him. And I do not like that. She is a crazy person to me. And just her whole like, well, you can leave, don't come back. Girl, no. No. I mean, he tries to feed her. He's like, I love feeding Monique, which reminds me of that kink, that feeder kink, that there are people out there who love to like feed their person and watch them gain weight, but then have sex with them. So it's like the feeder thing is like over months. You just watch them eat, you just feed them. And to physically see their body changing based on the food you are providing for them turns you on. Even the other way around, where you like, don't feed somebody and they get skinny because of you. Like, it's just like wild. It's wild. Animal receptionist. You mean a receptionist at a vet clinic? Animal receptionist. Where are we at? Who said that? I don't want. She's a receptionist at a vet office. That seems to make so much more sense, El Boogie. El Boogie said an animal receptionist. Oh, that makes me so hilarious. So hilarious. That feeder thing is abusive. It is abusive. Also, the other way around is abusive too, but people like it. He said he was strong enough to take on a big girl. Lord. Lord. Woo, he ordered, a rack of lamb, lobster, crab legs, like crab cakes, which crab cakes sounds so good. I was like, sir, do you have crab cakes money? And no. Then the guy comes and they dab it up and say what's up or whatever, and says hello to Monique, and they exchange numbers, and Monique promptly deletes the number out of his phone because he's like, that guy is from your past. You're not dealing with anybody from your past ever again. I'm like, girl, it's been 9 years. It has been 9 years. It's not like the people he used to run with are probably in jail as well. Like, it's been 9 years, sis. So then they're out on the street getting into the car, and she sits in that car, and the difference between those two whilst sitting in the car is very interesting. She is so angry that a man on the street's like, hey, what's up? You can't allow him to say hi? He really trying to go out that night, and she's really trying to block it all and being angry and like sullen. It's just too much for me. I don't like her. Rubbish. Terrible. It's suspicious how all these people were suddenly in the same. No, it's not though. It depends on where you're at. Like, they might be in one of these towns where the main thing is the main thing on the drag, and then people go there to every day to do something, or every night. It's probably like a Saturday night or a Friday night. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to run into people you knew. I read a guy's blog where he would meet women, feed them until they were morbidly obese, then leave them, telling them that they let themselves go, and the women would say, oh, they only did it for him. Oof. Wow. Oof. There's a dark side. There is a dark side. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Derek asked Monique if she got the bill. Like, what was the other option? The thing is, so she let him buy that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, she didn't say, like, stop. She didn't say, hey, I can't afford that. Like, please don't order that. Like, you can only order this and this. They had champagne. I mean, listen, it looked like a great meal. And part of me is still thinking about that meal, thinking that I should go eat out. I'm still thinking about, I went and had oysters yesterday with a nice rosé. It was great. I had a really nice dinner by myself yesterday. Well, I mean, everything I do is by myself. I had a really nice dinner yesterday at this great Italian spot. And I like walked there because it's really, really close to where I live. And I sat down. I had 2 glasses of that rosé, Merlot, and a glass of Merlot. And then I had oysters. I had a salad. I had a cauliflower dish. And then I brought home some beignets. It was great. It was great. It's great. Can you hear those people in my hallway? Yo, people are loud. Anyways, so that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today while we talk about Love After Lockup. How many of you guys are gonna watch MILF Manor? It comes on TLC. It's not Discovery Plus. It's TLC. Let's see when it starts. I think it starts this month for sure. It's gonna be so dumb, you guys. We have to watch it. It's gonna be really, really dumb. It looks like it starts on the 20th. Friday. Everything is on Friday. So what is Saturday just going to be like MILF Manor, Love After Lockup, and RuPaul's Drag Race? Wow. Okay, let me read it to you. Single women aged over 40 seek love with single men in their 20s while living in a beautiful retreat in Mexico. That's what MILF Manor is. Okay. I can't shut up about MILF Manor. Okay, let me see. The premise of MILF Manor, an actual television program, is not just someone's Pornhub search history, is fairly self-explanatory. 8 MILFs, Mom, I'd like to F, date 8 younger men while living together in a big, gorgeous house. In case you need a refresher, the TLC, it stands for that. So don't think of MILF Manor as a dating reality show. Think of it as an educational journey exploring what is apparently a challenging concept: older women dating. The women, all between ages of 40 and 60 years old, include a fitness instructor / singer, a self-proclaimed disco mommy, an event planner who used to be a B-girl back in the day. Some are divorcees looking for a chance to do looking for a chance to do them. Others say they have extremely high libido. They all look like they're cosplaying as Real Housewives, and I hope they just end up dating each other. Anyways, I don't know what that's just. I'm reading someone's article called The Cut. But anyways, go look it up. Looks like it's on that's MILF Island. No, I'm talking about MILF Manor. Yeah, MILF Manor. Look it up. It's going to be on TLC. We'll see it. I'll just do one episode. I don't know how many, not one episode. I'll just do one season. I wonder how many episodes there are. Oh no, it says it premieres January 15th. Let me look at it. When are these dates? When's the 15th? Isn't that a Monday? A Sunday? That's a Sunday. It can't come on a Sunday. That's 90 Day Fiancé world. But it comes on at 10 p.m. So maybe it does. I don't know. We'll be on the lookout for it, you guys. And then we'll go live and talk about it. Also, so what I'm doing is Love After Lockup. I'm doing Drag Race. I'm doing MILF Manor. And I'll be doing Toe the other way. Toe is coming back. So yeah, girl, it's a lot. We're going to try to do it. I need to get my YouTube AdSense money up because she's low. You know, hit that savings account. Okay, so thank you to those of you who did a Cash App or a Venmo or who will do a Cash App or a Venmo. I super appreciate your time and your love. If I at all gave you the hee ha-has, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share on any social media platform that you deem fit. Tell your friends about me. If you are at all interested in my podcast with my good friend Chris Farah, here's a picture of us from Docu-Sweeties. Where's the picture? Here's a picture and then I don't find one. Here it is. So you can join us in Docu-Sweeties podcast. We talk about docu-series. We just finished. Let me tell you about it. If you guys have watched Killer Sally on Netflix, watch it because that's going to come out on Docu-Sweeties podcast as well. If you guys have watched Call Me Miss Cleo, which is a documentary about the late 90s psychic, Miss Cleo. Call me now for your free tarot reading. That's going to go up at some point. Don't know, but we've already recorded it. And if you're in the Patreon for Docu Sweeties, you've already watched it. Renee. Renee. And then we also have Harry and Meghan. So 3 episodes or 4 episodes are live right now on the podcast, and I'm going to edit 2 of them tonight, as well as our Love After Lockup episode that we did today as well. And I will put that up at some point soon. Tonight, hopefully, if I remember. So yes. Yeah, Miss Cleo one was definitely good. So if you're at all interested in that content, please go and subscribe to my podcast. All of those things will be dropping. And it just helps us out. I'm trying to like figure out life. You know me. I want to create content and I want to make you guys laugh. That's what I want to do. So by hook or by crook, I'm going to figure out a way to squeeze it into my life where I work a regular 9 to 5. And I would love to do this. So thank you so much for those of you who were able to make it. I just started watching Miss Cleo. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Watch it and then go and Renee is in a patron, so she gets all of it immediately. So she's already watched Killer Sally, if she wanted to. So yeah. So Docu Sweeties is a podcast and a Patreon option. Yes. So Docu Sweeties is a podcast, and the we have a Patreon account for those who want the content immediately and they want the visual of it. So they get the video version of it. And then we go live on Patreon every Monday, not every Monday, every first Monday of the month. And we'll have a lot of exclusive content on there as well. So we're plotting some stuff. Like, I don't know if Call Me Miss Cleo is going to go live on podcast, if it'll just stay on the Patreon. So it just depends on that. Trying to get some stuff done. But yeah, so if you're interested in that, it's $10 a month on Patreon, or you could just stay here with Just Call Me Wah for free and just tip whenever you want to tip, whichever way it goes. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, have a fantastic weekend. Okay. Have a good Saturday night, wherever it is that you are. And I hope to see you guys later on in the week, and a lot on Saturdays. Saturdays is going to be a Just Call Me Wah day, apparently, which I'm fine. I like you guys. All right. Have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. You know what always jumps into my head as I'm ending the show? Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay.